these dies are a little bit different in that they don't outline the stamped images, they're just coordinating images. And these dies are like solid silhouette type flowers and leaves. And then you've also got a full butterfly and like a side view of the butterfly. And then you've got a little tag and another little label. Let's start with our basic white cardstock, which is cut to 8 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I have Evening Evergreen, and this one is cut to 5 1/4 by 3 7/8. And then I have a piece of Whisper White, which is 5 1/8 by 3 3/4, and that's all inches, of course. I have embossed this white piece with the brick embossing folder. Now, I would often, if I'm doing flowers and a little label with words, I would often put the flowers on and then put the label up on dimensionals, like kind of over top. So for tonight, what I decided I wanted to try was to put the label on flat and then put the flowers on dimensionals over top of the word. So it's just something small, but it's just a little bit different. Now the reason why, or one of the reasons why I chose Evening Evergreen was because we have this really great vellum, this shimmer vellum. I don't know if you can see how sparkly that is, but it's really quite sparkly. And what I did here was I cut using this die, and you can see it kind of goes, well, it would go this way off to the right. So I cut one off to the right, and then I actually cut on the wrong side of the vellum. So this one, when I turned it over to the right side, it was going off to the left. And I'm just going to use some tiny dots of glue for this. And you can go ahead and have that kind of going off your card because it's going to still fit in your envelope. Okay, so I'm going to set that over here, and I might just put something heavy on top of it while we do this flower. So this is the technique really that I wanted to share with you tonight. So I've cut that daisy-like flower out of just basic white. I've got Daffodil Delight, Blackberry Bliss, and Rich Razzleberry, which are like the same color but a light and a dark, and then the Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent, which the same. They're like a very similar, the same green, but just the light and the dark. And that's actually quite useful to have in your stash, to have the lights and the darks of different ink colors. And I'm going to use a blending brush, and this one's got gray on it, but I actually didn't have one that was for my yellows, so I just cleaned it up. And I'm just going to blend a bit of yellow on there. If you use sponges or sponge daubers or an aqua painter, you'll get quite a different look. The thing I like about the brushes is you're going to get a look that still is going to leave a lot of white. It's not going to be a really smooth, thick cover. Thick isn't quite the right word, but I think you know what I mean. So I'm just going to go over it lightly with the Soft Succulent, and then just do the edges or one side with the Evening Evergreen, which is quite a bit darker. Oops, I got a little bit on my blossom there. That's okay. It's an imperfect sort of look when you're using the brushes. Okay, then let's add our Razzleberry and Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to move those out of the way so I don't get the wrong color. So that Razzleberry, I'm just going to come in from the edges of that bloom. And we're going to get this really great color with the Razzleberry and the yellow kind of mixed together. So you get sort of a peachy look in the middle, or not quite in the middle, but where they're blending. And then I'll use my Blackberry Bliss and just go along the edges here. And you can see from my grid paper here that you can also get quite a cool look with, you know, the paper that you're sponging on top of. I didn't do a good job of it there, but you could. I don't have a sample with that tonight, but that's another thing that we could play with. So you're going to end up with something that looks like that, and I actually really love how that looks, that really soft, shaded, blended look. And I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this, and this is where your tiny dimensionals are quite useful. And even the edges of your tiny dimensionals, whoops, you can cut off little strips like I've done here. And then we can go ahead and put our flower. You can put it in the middle or kind of off to the side. I'm going to put it a little bit off to the side like this. And I'm not worried that my stems are kind of hanging down there like that. And then we'll do our linen thread. And this is a way that I've shown several times, but maybe there's some people here who haven't seen it, how to do the linen thread. You can just tie a bow if you want, or even tie a couple bows. But here's another way to do it. I'm holding the linen thread with my thumb, and I'll wrap it around 4 fingers twice, and then 3 fingers twice. So we've made basically a couple loops in a couple different sizes. And then I'm folding this small loop in half, and then I'm folding this larger loop in half and pinching it in the middle. And then this other piece that I've cut, I'm just going to tie that around. I've gotten pretty good at tying stuff by myself, but if you have someone with you, it's helpful if they can hold it while you tie it. And then you could tie that around your flowers, or I'm just going to use a glue dot. Okay, and then just put that there so it looks like they're all bunched together. It actually looks, I think, quite cute. Inside your card, I've just stamped the flowers out of the stamp set and used my markers to get all the different colors, and then I would mount that onto Evening Evergreen and then put that in, which I won't because this has dimensionals on it. But I'll do that afterwards. I'm using the In Color gems. I love these. They're just the right size, and they're just these soft colors. So I'm going to use both the Evening Evergreen, oops, and the Soft Succulent. Oops, I lost my adhesive on that one. Okay, and then you can just maybe add a few around around your flowers like this. So just a little bit of sparkle. So the only real difference between this one and that one is I put a little bit of splattering here in the back. Hopefully you can see that. So let me show you a few other samples using the Quiet Meadow. So this one I did make. When I first pulled this set out, I thought it was perfect for just die cutting and doing in all one color, and black was just that silhouette look. And if you're doing a sympathy card or a card that's, you know, maybe not a total like celebration like a birthday or something, this could be quite appropriate. And then this one was actually designed, whoops, brought somewhere, designed by one of my team members, Ann Wools. And this one I thought was quite clever. We die cut all these flowers and leaves in white, and then used this time our Stampin' Blends, or the alcohol markers, and just quickly colored them. So it's quite a different look than using the brushes. It's a more intense look. And then this one I shared earlier with my watercolor shapes video. So that's just a really simple design with just one die cut, one flower done in that soft vellum. So it's a very sophisticated, soft sort of a look. I don't know why that bow is there. That doesn't need to be there. Then we have, this one. And this one was given to me by Sally Williams and Leslie Scott. They cased it off of a designer named Tammy Wolfson. So then it's got the die cuts in the background, makes use of the stamps in the even further background, and then those 2 flower blooms have been white embossed and then brushed with the blending brush, and that's all done in white and fresh freesia, so that's quite a pretty one too. This one was made by Karen Hadler, and I actually don't know who made this one. There was no name on it, but it's just a couple of cute little tags. This one with the vellum, and this one also with the vellum and the white. Good way to just use up maybe those extra little bits and pieces you have laying around. And I did this one this afternoon. This is just a simple design, also inspired by Tammy Wilson. I did it in Night of Navy, so just use the blending brush, Night of Navy in the back, stamped with the Night of Navy, little Night of Navy tag, and just one white die cut. So I didn't do any coloring to the dies at all. And it's a great way to do just a monochromatic sort of card. And then the last one is one that I did for my customers when I did my catalog launch a couple months ago, and was showing them Pale Papaya. So these are the stamps done in white, and just blended the ink over top and used that label again and those cute little bumblebees. So I hope that gives you lots of ideas with this particular bundle, and I hope you enjoyed that. And oh, let me move it over so you can see all of those, and leave me a comment, like I said, and I'll be sending this to someone out there. And subscribe to my newsletter, and I'll be sending you out some more creative ideas. So thanks for joining me tonight. This is Jackie, and I'll see you next week at 7. Bye bye.